Ready to go live.
We're official.
All right, we have like 5 people watching us, possibly, maybe more. We have the Keno Kid, much beloved Keno, of course, Mr. PJ, and I'm sure. Let's see, cocktails poured. What are we consuming tonight, PJ? You have to let us know.
Yep.
It is less than 60 seconds. Yeah.
PJ's always got something good.
George has joined us, so we'll add him to the stage. That's a nice little foursome, so to speak.
Hi, guys.
Well, welcome. Welcome to the. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Our somewhat regular Vegas Roundtable. And I am once again honored to be joined by 3 guests who are also friends of mine. To my immediate right is the one and only Ace of Vegas, coming to us all the way from Colorado, USA.
What's going on, Smith?
And continuing clockwise, my very good friend, Mr. Kevin Dillmore. And I believe he is, unless he is out of town, technically I believe he is in the state of Missouri now.
I am in the state of Missouri. I just one mere block away from Kansas. But yes, I am a Mino, Missourian in name only.
Well, the good thing about it is, if you do have to, if it comes to a refugee situation and you have to flee, it's not very far to go.
It's not far. It's not far. I thought the weather last night was going to blow me back into Kansas, to be honest.
Oh, you caught some of what we had the day before, I take it.
Yes. Well, it was coming from the south, so I think you guys, what you had was much more dire than what I had. I was glad you checked in safe.
Wasn't us this time.
So that gives us one guest from the Mountain Time Zone, one from the Central Time Zone, and wrapping things up as we continue clockwise, our good friend George, the Vegas near me guy who's living in Las Vegas, and so he's joining us very early this evening. It's probably he probably just got up. Isn't it about time to go play poker?
Yeah. It's like I'm the only guy that runs a software company during the day and hauls karaoke equipment around at night. So I'm always up late.
Well, that's what you get when you have a young lady that you're attached to. You have to do things like that.
God bless Las Vegas.
Yeah. There you go. So, we got a few people in the house. I saw Ronnie C joined us. Ronnie, thanks for dropping in. Did want to do a couple of, on the old Vegas Tips and Tricks regular show, I always called it the housekeeping segment. And we'll imagine there's a vacuum cleaner playing in the background. I have decided that it is probably a little too ambitious to try to do this every month. So I'm thinking the plan that I have is for the Vegas Roundtable to be a bi-monthly affair. So that would put us at the end of June, the end of August, which will work nicely because it'll be right before my birthday trip. And then I guess that would be October, Halloween. We could all dress up or something, or not. And then finally, right before the end of the year, which would be a nice way to sort of do a year-end wrap-up. And of course, as always, any and all of you are welcome to join us, but we'll try to rotate people in and out. Originally, Ace was a last-minute replacement. Our good friend Steph, Vegas to Cali, was going to be with us tonight, but at the last moment, her father decided to visit, and so she had to bow out, and Eric was kind enough to step in. So
I was in the neighborhood, so I figured.
Scheduled, well, it's not scheduled yet, but the next Vegas Roundtable will be probably the final Sunday in June. But I think that gives us is a little more realistic than doing it every month. So, unless you all are just desperate to come in here, and it's always good to see and talk to some of you because I don't always often get to. But let's see. We usually do kind of a check-in thing as to we don't have to ask George. I actually officially booked my flight and hotel to Las Vegas for Labor Day weekend, extended. I won't actually be there on my birthday. I'm going to be back here with my family on that day, but we'll celebrate over the weekend. So be there from August 29th and then come back on September 4th. And I believe the official John Timber celebration is going to be that Friday, the 30th. So booked myself at the Luxor for the entire 6 nights. Although there's a chance I'll double book a night downtown because I always like to do that. If you're going to go all the way down there, you might as well, get to the point where someone has to show you to their room. But, So Ace, how are things going with you? Any plans on your end to visit Vegas anytime soon?
They're not entirely solidified yet, but my oldest niece is turning 21 in June, and she's convinced her old Uncle Ace that
it wasn't that hard.
It wasn't that hard. So she and her little boyfriend. Well, I say little boyfriend. He's a good kid. But her and her boyfriend wanted to go with me and Wonder Woman. So Uncle Ace, Auntie Wonder Woman are taking them to Vegas. I'm thinking probably that last week in June. Show the kids a good time. It'll be some good stuff. We just got to get things booked up over the next week or two. And I figure, we'll toss a couple bucks their way, let them stumble through a couple of clubs or whatever, and then we'll wake them up in the morning for Primrose and see how they do.
There you go. Yeah, I have to hook him up with Tim and see if he can get him into some nice clubs. Get some.
Cool I do have to get my jingle.
I definitely have to consider that with the youngins.
Oh yeah.
But so Kevin, I don't know what's been going on in your life lately. I haven't talked to you too much recently.
Yeah, we haven't chatted. Things are going along swimmingly. Working at still at Hallmark and writing on the side. I do have plans to go to Vegas.
Oh wow!
I believe my writing partner Dayton Ward and I are going to be heading out during a annual Star Trek convention at the Rio. Spoiler alert, we will not be staying at the Rio. We're probably gonna
let's bookmark that. We'll come back to the Rio at some point because
actually
there are good things happening there.
Any hotel that's got documented feral cats is a perfect place for a Star Trek convention.
Funny story about that, actually, since you mentioned that. They actually do have some roaming around Luxor as well.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yep, that's that. I actually did find one on my last trip there to Luxor. I was I think I had the corner suite, and when I was checking it out, I just kept hearing this meowing, and I tracked out there was just a cat that was just kind of hanging out under the ice machine, and it had been there for like a whole night and a half. So actually, there you go. So JR, you're also booking feral cart.
That's delightful.
It's the best thing. Sorry, Kevin, didn't mean to step on you.
All in favor of haunted places with feral cats. So
yeah, but I think what my writing partner has never stayed downtown, and given my experience at the D, which I really liked, I think we're going to stay there. And we are not going to officially attend the convention, but friends of mine will know we're there. I'm told by those that do this frequently, they call that lobby con, where you just hang out in the lobby and don't pay for the ticket. So
I think a lot of people do that kind of thing probably for like Comic-Con. They just
I'm sure they do
actually officially buy tickets.
Yeah, they
enjoy the ambiance.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. When is this supposed to be?
Well, it's at the beginning of August. I believe the dates are August 1 through 4. Okay. So if you're coming in at the end of August, I might be there at the beginning. So
there you go.
Of course, plans could change.
It should be nice and warm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The D does not have much of a pool, but that you could get into the Circa pool if you're staying at the D, which would be that'd be a fun afternoon for you in Dayton.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. All right, we're bringing it all the way around to George, and he's in Las Vegas. Any news you want to share with us about the city? How are things going with the Vegas Near Me app, etc.?
Well, first of all, for you guys, when you come to Vegas, look me up. John can give you my contact info, so I'd love to meet you guys when you come here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just message me. I'll give you his phone number and everything.
Sure.
Yeah. No, that's fine. And No, I created this app. It's called Vegas Near Me, and it's just absolutely amazing. I mean, I tell people nowadays, I think it's got a strong argument to be the single best app ever made. People actually laugh at me when I say that initially, and then they look at it and go, "You might be right." It's pretty crazy. We've had upwards of 40 people working on it for 7 years. Uh, it's kind of like having the best Vegas concierge in your pocket. Yeah, and
There you go, right
I don't know
there.
if you used it lately, Kevin, but it's getting just ridiculously great. The three best features are we have maps of all the casinos. Instead of reviews, text reviews, we have 75,000 timestamped and curated YouTube and podcast clips. And it's just a great way to learn about and choose things to do. And like the timestamped is really neat. So if you're learning about a restaurant and then say they talk about it an hour in on a 2 hour long podcast, it'll start to play right where they talk about it.
Yeah.
And then the third feature, and this one is actually kind of almost comical that I say it's a big feature, because when I started this project, I went, oh my God, how am I going to get the data to be any good? And I didn't realize how low the bar was. I mean, our data is far from perfect, but it already embarrasses every other source. In terms of, does the place exist and what are the opening and close hours, and just learning about stuff like that. So it's we're pretty proud of it. It's done, and we keep improving it, but go get it if you don't have it.
Yeah,
Real question is, does it do blackjack?
It doesn't do blackjack, but it'll tell you where all the blackjack games are. You know what I mean? So
how many loyalty points do I get for it?
Maybe that's what we need. We need a loyalty points. No, I mean, I'll tell you it's been probably a week or two ago that I spent quite a bit of time on the app. One of the things I really liked was all the menus. Great, looking at restaurants, being able to pull up the menus and whether it be lunch or happy hour or whatever it is. It's great being able to go through and be able to see that. The second thing I love is the fact that if you are in the casino and you can't find the bathroom, it'll tell you where it is.
Where it is.
At my advanced age, I need to be able to get to the bathroom in a timely manner. So that's extremely helpful. But I think probably I feel confident in saying that I know Kevin doesn't really do Vegas videos, but I feel confident that in that mix of YouTube videos there, the Ace of Vegas is probably represented. Vegas Tips and Tricks is probably represented. Probably everybody who has a channel that might be in this chat is represented. So, and that, those watch times, go to you. I mean, George doesn't make any money off of sending people to your videos, but it's a great reference there as well. But so yeah, we continue to try to figure out how to get George more downloads, because I mean, not everything is going to be for everybody, but there's so much good information there for pretty much anybody. So
it's crazy. We have yet to do any paid promotion, and our daily download rates have tripled recently. So we're starting to get a lot more daily downloads. And the website, it was kind of comical, but we're an app company, but we also have incredible website content, and we decided to make that data public. So when you search for stuff, you can find the Vegas Near Me content. And a year ago, when we launched that, we had 0 unique visitors a month, and now we have over 20,000 unique visitors a month to our website, which is really cool. And now, granted, a lot of that stuff is eclectic, so it's like Adele's Store Las Vegas. We'll rank #1, but we rank #1 on 100 different searches. And it's growing really, really fast, which is, I think, really going to help us too. But the biggest thing about the app, if you guys don't, when you come here, for sure use it, because it's going to save you just a lot of time. It's make favorites while you're back at home. Tap the heart and make things favorite, and it'll save you a ton of time.
Well, and if you're going to be staying in one place, you can set your location up in advance, and when you get there, you'll already be in a place where you're going to know the nearby restaurants and anything like that as well. So, but so speaking of information, and some people have a few people who in the chat may at least have heard this, but I am taking a little bit of a not quite a hiatus from work, but cutting back my work schedule a little bit because we have this small child who is actually with mom and is not crying at the moment. But if he starts, I told her to bring him in there because I'm sure everyone would love to see Izzy crying. But so one
That's
thing
why
that
we
I
logged in. That's the whole show.
What?
No, that's why we logged in. That's the whole show.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
yeah. That's the only reason why anybody's
all
here.
day. Let's go.
If we could bring him in for a cameo at the conclusion. Stay tuned till the very end. You could see a baby. Speaking of which, let me just take a few minutes. I see Hidden Jackpots, Denise Zuckerman. I already mentioned Ronnie. I want to acknowledge those of you in the chat. So thanks for dropping in. But I have decided to, and it's going to be a 3-month process, but I am going to write an ebook. And it will be under the name Vegas Tips and Tricks. Will be the author, if you will. It's going to be called Vegas 101: What You Need to Know Before You Go. It's probably just going to be an ebook. We're going to get it up on Amazon. I don't know what we're going to charge for it. A nominal fee. But as some of you remember, we had a website for probably a year and a half. And that was a labor of love of sorts, getting that pulled together. I think there was some good content there. And I think it's time to sort of pull this together. So over the next 3 months or so, my commitment is to get this thing done by, May, June, July, by the end of July. And so that's going to happen. I'm committing myself to it right here. So we will have a Vegas Tips and Tricks book of sorts. Like I said, it will probably just be an ebook. It'll probably be a nominal charge. We can as George knows, advertising in the Facebook group is not always the most successful option, but hoping at least a few people there might purchase it. And so there you go.
John, I'll put a link in the app for you for it. So
yeah,
tell me when you get it done. We'll put a little ad and link in for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
I am impressed. It's a very ambitious project. If you need.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not going to be I'm thinking this is probably 75, 100 pages.
Okay.
I mean,
very basic cool stuff. I don't want it to get too in depth because honestly, and I do this once in a while. I'll check out a Vegas guide from the library, or I'll buy one and I'll bring it home and I'll sit here and nitpick everything that's wrong because I've yet to find one that is accurate. The more detailed you try to get about things, the more if your content ends up being out of date. And I mean,
you don't need to go granular when you do something like that. You can always point to more living pages to give people that's the two great things about ebooks are you can link people to go directly to a source if you don't want to get into too much detail that could be dated, but you also can update an ebook on a regular basis if you wanted to and just kind of make it a living publication.
Sure.
Or
and I thought about having a sort of a 2-tiered system where if people wanted to just purchase the book, that would be one price. If they wanted to purchase a lifetime subscription to the book, that they would then whatever updates came, they would have that as well. But and I may have to get with you, Kevin, a little bit because it looks like probably one of the best ways to try and put this thing together. Fairly simply is to use the Pages app on Mac and iPhone and everything. So I may have some questions along the way.
Sure.
Because there's a bit of a learning curve on that, but it looks like a really good program as far as as if you want to actually put together a book and it'll put it out in EPUB and everything. So anyway,
I remain your humble servant.
Well, I don't know about that, but anyway, so we are sitting here about 20 minutes into this. I see Diana all the way from Ottawa, not Kansas, Ottawa, Ontario.
I was going to say, I think that's Canada, mate.
You. And I see Kevin, Vegas Visual. is on
Oh, I didn't see
on
Vegas
the
Visual Studio
chat
again.
as well, who a frequent contributor to this show. So it's good to see Kevin. I know he kind of graciously bowed out and said, "Yeah, let's some other voices get heard tonight." But so anyway, I did kind of have a general topic I wanted to cover, but before I do, anyone else have any particular comments or thoughts that they would like to share?
I'll throw something out to the experts for those who pay attention to this kind of thing. Kansas City voters just voted down a plan that involved some changes, updates of our stadiums for the baseball team and football team, the Chiefs and the Royals. I was talking to a friend of mine who's a former Kansas Cityan and now lives in Paradise. And she said, yeah, you guys were smart and we had to swallow a stadium that no one wants. So is that an editorial comment on her side? Or what's your what are the three of you thinking about this stadium to come, its location, and what it might mean for the future of the Strip?
It's a tough thing with the stadium. So in Denver, we've got a couple of them. We've got the Broncos Stadium that creates so many problems. There's so much money getting tossed around, and it upsets the fandom if the company does anything. It's a whole big thing. The infrastructure just wasn't there for us. There's no way to get away from those games by car. There's the public transportation system isn't good enough for it. The basketball stadium and the hockey stadium, the Pepsi, or what are they calling it now? Ball Arena. It was the Pepsi Center. Now it's the Ball Arena. That's a little bit better kind of planned out, but that's also because it's by the college. Mm-hmm. So it's always a really tough thing because there's so much you have to take in mind. You have to keep in mind the infrastructure of the area. You have to keep in mind just the mentality and just the people there, the culture there. It impacts so many things. And I think a lot of the people in charge, they're seeing the dollar signs because that's going to be a lot of revenue coming in, 100% certain. But they spend so much time thinking about whether they can, they don't think about whether they should. But again, problem with Vegas is they love gridlock. They love people slowing down and looking at things and saying, well, we're stuck in this cab. We can't go anywhere. Here's $20. I guess I'm going to go into MGM Grand. I guess that's where I'm going today. I'm not going back to my room. That's a thing that's going to happen. So I'm sure ultimately it'll all work out, but there's going to be some growing pains, I predict. But that's just me.
My point is it's just amazing as what's happened to Vegas since first the Golden Knights, then the Aces, then the Raiders have come here. This has become just an amazing sports capital. And the reason it's so popular is that people love to come here anyways. Mm-hmm. So they come here to come see their team play, right? Yeah. And as far as the gridlock thing, I think that one thing that's really going to help with that, and of course, we're all nervous about that, but I think the Boring Loop Company project should be pretty much complete by the time that thing is there. And those guys are estimating to be able to travel 90,000 passengers an hour, right? So, underground is going to be the way that you'll be getting around this city, I predict, right? It's already happening, and they're pretty good at planning that kind of stuff. So I'm super excited to see it come. I really, really am. Just it's amazing on how much more fun this place is since all the sports teams are here.
Yeah, it's you get like a combination of, obviously you get some locals that I would guess there's plenty of people in Las Vegas that are, for example, Lakers fans or Dodgers fans, and they're not going to change when suddenly the A's are in town, or there's a Las Vegas basketball team. You'll have local people, but you'll have people like myself, honestly. If Las Vegas had an NBA team, I would want to go to that game and I would root for that team. but at the same time, as you mentioned, you're going to have, when the Lakers are in town, oh God, you won't even be able to get a ticket. But even if, I don't know, the Bulls are in town, you're going to have thousands of people coming in from Chicago just to check that out. And I guess even with baseball, it's even easier because, you're going to have a 3-game series. Someone can make a weekend out of it. And, it's not just the money that they're going to spend on tickets or hot dogs, but also, they're probably going to gamble. They're going to have a hotel room. So that's not necessarily always going to get figured into the calculus of what works or doesn't work as far as the money piece. I don't know. I mean, I've kind of been following the whole Kansas City thing at this point, kind of from afar.
Sure.
It really does seem like there is a desire to get out of the current location of the Truman Sports Complex, anyway. Which is never a great location, at least not in the way we think about it now, with shops and restaurants and other entertainment, I guess.
And I don't even think that voters here are opposed to a downtown stadium. I just think they were opposed to the plan that was proposed, that they had the chance to weigh in on. But it is interesting to, I definitely, and I'm sure I'm not the only Kansas Cityan who's going to watch how things progress in Las Vegas to drop a stadium where they're going to, and kind of where we wanted to, and look and see what that is going to bring over the coming years.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. We are about 30 minutes in. I kind of wanted to, and I mentioned this a little bit in our little group chat coming in. I kind of wanted to sort of subtitle this particular roundtable "My Favorite Things," and I will not force you to listen to me as try to attempt to sing Julie Andrews, but
karaoke or nothing. Let's go.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I guarantee you get me in Vegas and there's karaoke and there's a few cocktails, and yeah, I probably would sing.
And quick sidebar, there is a great debate, at least among that we've picked up at Hallmark and radiating out. Is My Favorite Things a Christmas Carol?
These are a few of
there are people who have dragged that song into Christmas because there's mentions of like wrapped packages and things.
Yeah, tied up in strings. These are a few of my favorite things.
So,
well, here's the real question. Is Jingle Bells a Christmas song?
Well, there's no mention of the holiday.
There's no mention of the holiday, but is it a Christmas song? Because if it is, then this qualifies. If it isn't, then I think it's just outside.
If Paul McCartney's "Wonderful Christmas Time" is a Christmas song, then really isn't everything.
Yeah.
Uptown Funk is a Christmas song.
Yes, it is.
That's true. Oh, wow.
So, but our favorite things, sir.
Yeah. So, I guess we, kind of like say we can kind of run around in a circle like we tend to do with these things. And you're welcome to mention a handful of things in case. I was going to say, what are our, just in general, what is it that brings us to Vegas? But that's too nebulous a question. And as I tried to answer it myself, it turned into a 3-hour internal dialogue. So Nikki Firmage, thanks for joining us all the way from the UK. Thank you. I see Pat 75 is there. Anastas has joined us. So we got a few people in the house. And certainly we welcome their thoughts on this matter. But I just thought maybe we would talk about maybe favorite. It's kind of, cheesy, but favorite Vegas hotels, favorite restaurants, shows, just places to be. I always kind of like, because people just really love to talk about freaking hotels in Las Vegas. So I thought we'd send it around the horn, so to speak, with apologies to ESPN, and go ahead and Ace, just one or a handful of hotels in Las Vegas that you find yourself returning to again and again?
Oh, that's an easy one.
Things?
Yeah, that's definitely an easy one. I'd probably say, thinking about it, so Wonder Woman's a little spoiled. She doesn't go to a property that's under like 4 or 5 stars. She hasn't been to Excal. She hasn't been to Harrah's. I don't want to get divorced, so I'm not going to take her to Harrah's. So there's that. Honestly, my favorite used to be Mirage before Hard Rock took over. I haven't been back since then. I feel a little bad about that. That said, a lot of my stuff got transferred over to Mandalay Bay when they switched over. And Mandalay, they've been taking a very good care of us lately. That's also where Wonder Woman and I went for our first marriage anniversary. So that was really cool, and they've taken care of us very well since then. And as soon as we walk in the door, we'll book the regular Mandalay Bay, and they're like, "Oh, Mr. Vegas, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be at the Delano." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that's really cool." So no favorite of mine. Oh, did I lose you guys?
You were kind of jumping around for a minute. I don't know what to blame for that. But
no, it's probably my router's probably due for a reboot. But no, the first one that comes to mind is absolutely 1000% Mandalay Bay.
Oh, okay. You were with the setting. Have you also stayed at the Delano?
We pretty much exclusively stay there now when we go in.
Oh,
so
okay.
we'll book at Mandalay, and then they just move us over there to.
Well, I mean, even if you look at even if you book it straight up, it's not usually that much more expensive. So
it really isn't, and it's pretty nice for what it is. It's quiet, so we're not bothered. We love the pool, and it gives you access to both pools. Gives you access to the Delano pool. It's quiet and peaceful. So we set up base camp there. Then we'll go to the lazy river. We'll go to like the we'll go to the wave pool and all that. And then we just head back. But we like the peace there, and then having all the features. Also, again, Wonder Woman, she's a big nature buff. She's a big fan of the shark reef and all that. So that's just become... So Mirage was my home casino, but Mandalay Bay and Delano, that's our home casino. So... Sure. Absolutely, that is so.
It's not
Mirage
that much
is single
of a hike from the
yeah.
Delano to the Mandalay Bay Casino. It's not that much further to walk than
it really is, and it's just
Mandalay Bay.
It's 5 minutes out your room. It's 5 minutes out your room, and if you're at Mandalay, you're already at the end of the strip anyway. What's another 5 minutes for a way better room?
Yeah, very good.
Also, happy wife, happy life. So there you go.
Yeah, well, I learn that more every day.
Here's to that. We love Caitlin.
There you go. She's in the other room. I hear Izzy is making a little bit of noise, but not enough to cause any issues at the moment. Kevin, I think I might have an idea what your answers could be. Excuse me just a second. I will be listening, even though I'm not on the screen.
Oh, I was gonna let you predict my answer.
I was going to say that your personal favorite was actually Vidara, but I don't know if that's true.
I have stayed at Vidara for a number of years when I would travel with work to Vegas, and I really like. There's a lot of things I like about it when you're going to be there a while, and I've stayed there as long as 8 consecutive days. Because of work, and there is something to be said to retreat to a hotel that doesn't have a casino. Now, personally, the place that that's the first hotel that comes to mind when I go is the former Bally's current Horseshoe property. I like its location. It's pretty no frills. Everything, I just can depend on it. Even the check in and out is very streamlined for me. It's just, and it could be just, familiarity, generating the complacency, I guess. I'm not, there's no highs, there's no lows. It's just, it's dependable. And I usually do well at the casino. That's where I've been going. But
Yeah, I was going to say you and I both did pretty well there on it last September, I think.
Yeah, we did. But I really enjoyed my one day at the D, and I am looking forward to my first ever trip to Vegas, where I stay exclusively downtown.
Yeah. No, I think it kind of disappoints me. I mean, one of the few places downtown where you have kind of a linked group of properties would be the Derek Stevens properties, which of course the D, Golden Gate, and Circa. And I really enjoy those properties, but they're probably, excuse my French, the shittiest comps available anywhere downtown. So, but I mean, at this point in my life, I'd rather be where I want to be and have to pay a little bit for it than be somewhere I don't want to be.
I agree.
So I don't know, but yeah. So there we go. Badara, Horseshoe, and the D. Good choices. And I guess George probably approaches this from a different angle because at this point he's not actually staying.
George is going to tell us about a local casino.
Maybe he would. They could have a staycation of sorts, but
he's going to talk about Boulder Highway. He's going to break some rules here, aren't you, George? I can tell, George.
Well, actually,
let's go to Durango Station. Let's do that.
That's a beautiful place, by the way. I was just in there for the first time a couple weeks ago, and was just in Fontainebleau a couple days ago for the first time. So they're gorgeous. Oh, wow. I think one of the things I'm calling you right now from the Horseshoe, so I'm actually in the Horseshoe. So
okay, oh wow,
decided to take a day off and play some poker, and there's some private areas I can come up here and do a call. So I'm calling.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah. So
that big poker
room is right next to the Keno machine. So I spent a lot of time hanging out. That's right outside the poker room last year too. So.
Yeah, when you check out the app, by the way, go into look at the place map of anything in the Horseshoe, and you'll see what our new maps are going to look like. So it's really crazy. Oh. It started there, and they're just, I mean, we have 90 maps in the app, but the Horseshoe one is just stunningly beautiful, and that's the way we're going to make them all look, right? So it's really, really cool. But in terms of favorite places, it's different now that I live here, right? But I think I told you in the last roundtable that still blows my mind is that 25 of the 50 largest resorts in the world are in Vegas, right? So it's just crazy. And I love going to the places. I mean, when I was traveling here, my favorite was downtown. I love to stay downtown. It was just so much fun, and that's where it was. And I think Circa is just an amazing place downtown. And if I'm going to stay on the Strip, I prefer to stay center Strip, and just because there's so much fun stuff near the link and everything, and the Link Promenade, and just anywhere in that area is really, really good. But I like all the casinos. It's fun to go to the different ones and see it. But now I look at a different way of what I'm, now that I live here and not staying here, right?
Yeah, I'm curious what are your, I mean, obviously you're at Horseshoe tonight. What are some of your regular spots that you visit to play poker?
Well, Caesars and Horseshoe. I'm kind of a Caesars diamond, so I play there the most, right, from the whole thing. But I used to play big games, and now I don't anymore. So because now most of the time, I'm working, so I'll have my notebook out. In fact, the other day there was a guy that wouldn't stop talking. I was playing poker, and I told the room manager, floor manager, I said, God, this guy won't stop talking. He goes, yeah, there's another guy I know that won't stop using his computer and working. he's giving a hard time about me, right, all the time, right, that I'm here. But no, normally now when I come, I'll play at Caesars or the Horseshoe. But I like, there's a lot of great rooms here. The Resorts room is really nice. The Venetian is really nice. They're moving to a new room. You know what I mean? But as a local playing poker, I like to play on the Strip where more tourists are. I like generally
I was
play
thinking
against tourists.
As you were saying that, I was like, yeah, there's probably a lot more drunk suckers on the Strip.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah,
that are easy to clean up after.
Yeah, I want to play on a game where I don't know many people. That's the most obvious. And there's 200 or 300 people I know here that play poker for a living, right? So I want to play on games where people I don't know are.
Yeah, you probably don't want to go out to the Orleans where there's like a whole bunch of like locals grinding it out all the time.
Yeah, that's true. We have a lot of them.
Take some tourist money.
Yep,
exactly. No, that's probably the smart way to go. Well, it's interesting because I know a lot of, well, I don't know a lot of people. I know a few people that live in Las Vegas, and of course, most of them normally don't get anywhere near the Strip. But perhaps
Yeah,
it's different if you move there than if you grew up there. I suppose. I don't know.
No, it's the same it's the same as Colorado. There's there's Aspen, there's Vail, places like that for skiing, and then there's the place that the locals go to that I cannot say under penalty of execution. It's high treason here in Colorado.
Exactly. Yeah.
The other casino I go to a lot is Arizona Charlie's on Decatur, just because my girl has a karaoke night there, right? So that's one of the places that she does karaoke.
Well, hey, you can always get a cheap breakfast there. I've eaten there a couple of times at the old in the little diner there. I think the last couple of times I had a car, I went to that casino, and I had to get kind of a fire hose to get through the smoke. But then once I got through the smoke back to the little diner, some pretty decent food, at least.
JR out here drowning grandmas with his fire hose. Shame on you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's I would say, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately because my trip coming up here in 4 months and 1 day. No, I'm not counting, of course. Actually, I am. It's been a long time, but I really do like the Luxor. It has become kind of a home casino in recent years. I think my experience of the rooms has been generally good. I actually booked a room in the Pyramid this time, so I could convince myself that I was staying somewhere I haven't stayed before. But yeah, I mean, I just always kind of enjoy my time there. If you want to kind of upscale things a little bit, just walk over to Mandalay Bay. If you're really having a bad day, you can go to Excalibur. But yeah, I've
make yourself feel better.
Luxor has become one of my favorite properties. I would echo Kevin's mention of the Horseshoe Valleys. I do like that area of the Strip. Another property in that area that I have enjoyed quite a bit over the years is Planet Hollywood. A number of people have eventually had to leave me playing there because I wasn't going to leave myself. So yeah, I like that. Like I said, I mentioned downtown. I also enjoy the D. I like downtown Grand, even though it's kind of dead in there a lot of times. But I like the main bar there. It's pretty relaxing, and like George said, just in general, I like spending kind of a casual day or two downtown. And when we were there in September, Caitlin and I and Kevin went down to Plaza and played bingo, and that was kind of fun. I mean,
it was kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm just getting old and stuff, but
bingo is a lot more
like
fun. Casino bingo is amazing. It's a lot more
So
fun than
it
really
was
should
like
be.
I think it was like $35. They gave me 2 free beers. I think they gave
at least 2,
like 4 free beers because Caitlin didn't drink.
Yeah,
any
I was
of them.
going to say, yeah, I think you.
Yeah, there you go. You got the double.
Partook.
Yeah, exactly.
For 2.
And, it was an hour or so of entertainment, and you could win something. And even if you don't win something, $35 is nothing.
Well, and it gave us conversation time too.
Exactly. You don't. The thing about bingo anymore is unless you're one of those people that wants the little daubers, it's like you don't really have to pay any attention. You can just watch the little video screen.
Yeah.
And
even
so
tells you when
I
to
do
shout.
like Plaza as well. But again, the problem I always run into downtown, and I'll be curious to hear from Kevin after he spends some time at the D over a period of days, is I never seem to get very good comps downtown. And it's probably just because I don't play enough, because it's too easy to just go next door.
Right.
But yeah, I do enjoy that. But Yeah,
So,
and I mean, I could say, I mean, I really, thanks to the Win app, I mean, I think I spent 11 or 12 nights at the Win or Encore, which I never would have otherwise. I mean, I love that property, but I mean, I'll probably never stay there again because it's ridiculously expensive. So
It can
there you
get
go.
that way. Honestly, I think. I mean, proportionately, I don't think it's that bad compared to. Well, it definitely beats most local hotels and casinos and all that. So, if I wanted to say, if I'm spending $247 a night, I'm not getting remotely what I'm getting at Wynn at my locals. Not
No.
even close. It's orders of magnitude difference. Even the basic room is better than like the best suite that they got there. It's almost sad by comparison.
No, that's true.
Well, here's a question for the group. One of the things that I really do like about the Horseshoe, besides its location, is its access to the monorail, and that's going away. Am I understanding that correctly?
I heard I heard the rumor it's supposed to be shutting down in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Which is a real shame. I'm hoping the taxi authority didn't get their way because they really needed to expand that. There's so many great opportunities for really high quality public transportation in this city. When I say the city, I mein we're in a Vegas stream, so we always assume Vegas when I say the city, of course.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Yeah, you know what I meant. But yeah, no, it's a real shame. And I wish I used it more. We use it a little bit, but we usually stay on the MGM side of the strip because that's who I usually play with. I mean, we've got some Caesars rewards, so we'll stay on that side every so often. Last time we went with my brother, we were on, we were at MGM Grand, so we had access to it. But yeah, no, that is such a missed opportunity. It's a massive missed opportunity. And everybody really wants that. They want an alternative to running around, finding a Lyft, finding an Uber, finding a taxi, waiting for a car, getting the gridlock. Yeah. Because people do love the trams. Like, have you been to the Aria tram after hours or trying to get back and forth and all that? Yeah. Drunkenly, people will go there and they'll ride the thing back and forth for like an hour and a half just so they don't have to walk it back. Back and forth between Bellagio and Park MGM, but they love that sort of thing. And it's a real pity to see the options go away. That's what I always loved about Vegas is I have the option to do whatever. And that just breaks my heart. Anyway, not sure what I was on about. I'll let you guys go ahead and go. I've spoken enough.
No, I mean, from my understanding, one of the big problems that they're dealing with the monorail is there's simply no way to replace or repair the cars as they, wear out as they are going to, because the original company, I guess, does not even exist anymore. It was sold to another company, and it's just not even practical or possible. I guess it was some of the same cars that were at one point sold to like Disney World, and they've investigated that to some degree. But I mean, but let's be honest. I mean, the problem with the monorail was always been I have to hike like a half a mile from the strip just to get to the monorail. So unless I'm going, and I've always said this, if I'm going from MGM Grand to Sahara or, I guess, what is it, Westgate or whatever, that's fine. Yeah. But if I'm going from, I'm not going to do that to go from MGM Grand to Bally's Horseshoe because I can walk there about as fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
No, that's a good point.
So, yeah, my opinion on all this again is I think people are underestimating the impact that the Vegas Loop is going to have. I mean, the city's already approved 93 stations, 68 miles of new tunnels. And the beautiful thing about the tunnels, the way it is they can put the tunnels very convenient, right? So, I mean, even at the Horseshoe, the monorail is way in the back, and it's harder to maintain. But I love the monorail too. I hope it stays around for the whole thing. But I think you're going to see the majority of traffic actually moving around this city in a few years by self-driving cars in tunnels. That's the way I think you're going to see it happen.
That would be very cool. I hope that works out.
I can see that. I mean, I've taken the self-driving cars actually in Vegas. I did that by accident the first go around. when they were still piloting it, and it was actually really cool to see.
Yeah, I have a older Tesla 2018, and the software has just gotten exponentially great, and my car pretty much drives itself anywhere right now by itself, just on cameras, right? But
Yeah.
with the loop, it's just so convenient. I think it's just going to be a game changer for getting around the city, right?
Well, I hope it is. But I mean, I've seen the like I said, 93 stations. I've seen the diagrams of all the different places they're planning for it to go. So I hope it works out. I can't say that I personally have an enormous amount of faith in Elon Musk, but hopefully, in this case, his company will be able to make this work. And I mean, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, any alternatives are outstanding.
Right, preferable to nothing. Here's a question I have for the group, just out of curiosity.
Sure.
So I know most of us are married or seeing somebody or whatever, but when you have a date on the strip, how does that impact how you do your travel plans? Because I know if it's just me and the boys, I'll just be like, you know what? Come on, fellas, we're gonna mob on down to the Mirage. We're walking from Wynn to Mirage, and I don't really make a whole big thing out of it and all that. But typically,
I remember. I actually remember doing that with you.
Yeah, we did that actually. It was with my buddy and his wife on their wedding trip, coincidentally enough.
Yep.
So it was. I think it was us. I want to say Penny's was there. I think
we were
Lee
trying
was
to
there.
dodge what's his name, who was like
we were. Yeah, some weird stalker
that's another
guy.
Story. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, a whole nother story. Well, that's a whole podcast over there. But yeah,
that's a whole podcast,
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember. That's a little different from how we do. Like if I'm taking Wonder Woman on a date out there, if we're going to Gordon Ramsay, I'm like, hey, let's come through. I'll call Presidential I'm not calling Presidential to go to Gordon Ramsay, but to get us back from the airport and all that, I'll do that. But I feel like I'll do things a little differently when my wife is here and rolling with this. Do you guys do things differently?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jim.
I mean, for when we eloped, I guess I made sure we had upgraded to a suite at the Luxor, which worked out well. And then when we went back in March of the following year, which would have been last year, oh man, that's over a year ago now. I booked us into the Vidara, which I had told her, but then I upgraded us to a full Vidara suite. And then when we got to the airport, I had arranged a limo. But I would never have done that for myself, but I knew that would be something that would be memorable, that she would enjoy, and that would start the whole trip off on the right foot. So I wouldn't have done that for myself, but I don't know.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't gone to the last few opportunities to go to Vegas. I wasn't dating anybody who wanted to go to Vegas, which is maybe why we don't date anymore.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
No, that's, I mean, and that is something that does come up in conversation, we talk about something that's a whole other podcast, dating when you're pushing 60. But one of the things that when we talk about where we like to go and what we like to do when we travel, I mean, Vegas is the first thing I mention, and it's not necessarily on anybody's list. There's just sometimes I'll get a little bit of a face or I've always thought about going. I guess I need to put that higher up in my dating profile. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess not surprisingly for me is now I love all the non-strip places, right? So I mean, we have a whole collection of places that are not on the strip, and it's just because there's better value. You know what I mean? There's some incredible places that aren't that expensive, and they're very close. I mean, one of the things I underestimated, I mean, the initial thing that was attracted to me about Vegas was the shows and events. That's what I love, but now I'm starting to truly appreciate just the amount of restaurants. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? I mean, the number of unique different places that you can eat here and food that you have, it's just really, really fun. You know, our favorite places are places like Herbs and Rye, which is on Sahara, and my favorite personal place is a place called Musashi, which is Japanese teppanyaki, where like a Benihana type place that's just off the strip. And
Sounds so
but
good.
there's you know that place is so much fun, by the way. And they but they have a deal only at midnight on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And I'm fundamentally cheap by nature, so you go there on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at midnight, and it's less than half the price. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, so you just
I mean, that's
stuff
not
like
fundamentally
that we do.
cheap. That's just smart. That sounds worth
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Go there at 11:30. Get the same meal. It'll cost you at least twice as much, sometimes 3 times as much. So it's
Hey,
a lot
shoot, man!
less.
11:30 is when the party's starting in Vegas.
Yeah,
That's actually the smart thing to do.
Yeah, and we're both staying up late. I'd say my girl's up late, but so am I because half my team is overseas. So I'm always
sure.
up late anyways, right?
Oh yeah.
But there's so many just beautiful, really fun places that are off strip. And we like a lot of the bars too. I mean, we go to like the Still and Jackson's and all these different little places you wouldn't
go to the
think of
Still a
too
lot
that are
too,
fun to
actually.
eat. Yeah. Yeah, my girl introduced me to that place. She really likes that place. So fun place.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. I mean, the other people that I always hear about the all the off-strip Vegas stuff is Vegas Best Ideas. I mean, they're always like come to town for like a month and they visit all of these places like 25 minutes off the strip and everything. But it is kind of interesting. I'm going to go ahead since we're almost an hour into this and just kind of go around one more time, I guess, because need to get back to mom and the baby here real quick. And we'll go with the favorite things theme one more time, but we won't put anything specific in that category. You can pick shows, you can pick restaurants, you can pick experiences, whatever you want, and we'll just go around one more time and talk about any Vegas favorite things that you'd like to share with our enormous audience here tonight. Ace, anything?
Oh, a million things. It's difficult to narrow it down.
Well, we don't quite have that much time. But,
we don't have quite that much time. I suppose. Oh, I mean, I guess if it comes down to it, I'd probably it's always got to be the food for me too. I love going in and just finding, just doing something a little over the top, a little decadent. Like I'll do some Gordon Ramsay, I'll do some Bacchanal. Love some golden steer and all that. I love a good steakhouse. Anytime I go to Vegas, I have to make sure I go to at least one steakhouse. That's probably my favorite thing about Vegas is that there's steakhouses everywhere. And for the most part, they're all pretty spectacular. Even like a mid-level steakhouse is still going to beat the hell out of whatever you got going on at home. And it's just one of my favorite places to eat. And surprisingly, Wonder Woman, not a problem because she'll just like do a little tasting of the whole side menu. So she's always happy and I'm always happy. And that's a favorite of mine. So there's that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just as you had said earlier, Ace, that you can't speak about the ski resort that that shall not. When you say that there's every steakhouse in Vegas would beat what you have at home. In Kansas City, I am not allowed to say something like that. we have to defend our steakhouses and our barbecue joints, with our last breath. One of the, and I know John is aware of this, but it started off as just something fun to do, and now has truly become a tradition. For me, when I go to Vegas, the very first thing I do once I'm set up in my hotel is make my way to Secret Pizza. That is always my first meal on a trip in Vegas,
Really?
whenever I can arrange it. It's nothing more than just it's fun to walk in there, grab a slice, chat with the people working, and just have a little decompression time before I roll into whatever it is I'm going to be doing that day or that trip. It's an odd little affectation, but I am a fan of Secret Pizza.
I would encourage you, if you, in fact, decide to stay downtown at the D, maybe make your first stop Evil Pie.
Really?
A very good pizza by the slice.
Okay.
I think a cheese slice and a beer for like $8 or something.
It's a
Can't argue with
stronger pie. It's a stronger pie for
a
cheaper.
solid place to
Okay.
eat.
That's
And,
and
there's plenty of Evil Knievel stuff around. And since you're of a similar age to me, you probably grew up trying to jump over things with your bicycle.
Oh my gosh, yes. And we actually have an Evil Knievel museum in Topeka, Kansas now. And the Sky Cycle is there.
Yep. And the I believe the second largest collection of Evil Knievel memorabilia is in that pizza place.
That's fantastic. Well, you have sold me on that for sure.
I mean, if you're going to be downtown for a few days, you have to go to Pizza Rock as well, particularly if you're going to do a
Pizza Rock's good too, but Evil Pie is better.
Hour,
just objectively.
That sounds great. And you know that little hot dog place we found?
Oh yeah,
when you were in town for your birthday.
Coney Island.
Oh, Coney Island at the D. Yeah.
Actually,
funny story. I went there with Derek. Not with. No, I went there with Richard Wilk actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we I'm super hungover and we just decided to go for this thing. It was a great time. Love that, man.
I've never eaten it at Evil Pie, but there's actually one in Allegiant now too. So.
Oh really?
It's open during events. Yeah. One nice thing in the app is you can go in the app and you can set your location wherever it is, and then just say find all the closest pizza places to me. Everybody tells me Pizza Rock, and I haven't eaten there either. So.
Oh yeah.
The
pizza is good. If nothing else, get the meatballs.
Okay. Really? Okay.
Yeah, I love the meatballs.
We have a pizza place in Kansas City that offers side meatballs, and I have become a fan.
Oh yeah, definitely the way to go. They always have a good happy hour, so definitely worthwhile. So yeah. All right. I kind of would come back to what Ace said a little bit when he started his favorite things. It's like I've become kind of a fan, not from TV, but just from eating there of a lot of the Gordon Ramsay places. I try to get to one of them. There's a Gordon Ramsay. I think there's still a Gordon Ramsay at the Harrah's in Kansas City.
There sure is. A friend of mine who is the CEO of the Kansas City Barbecue Society said that his first meal at Gordon Ramsay is one of the top 3 meals he'd had in his life.
Yeah, no, it's very good. Yeah, I mean, even if it's just the Gordon Ramsay burger, they have like one burger that has like 18 different kinds of cheeses on it, and you can't beat cheese, so that's nice. But that's something I rarely do anywhere outside of Las Vegas is go to a fairly upscale, even if it's kind of a, I don't know, gimmicky celebrity kind of thing. But I do enjoy doing that from time to time. And and I do enjoy doing this from time to time. It's always good to touch base with friends. I think if I remember correctly, George and Kevin and I all sat around watching the very first football game of the season.
We sure did.
September.
Yep.
Sure did. And I lost my shirt on a Chiefs
at the Horseshoe.
Horseshoe. That's right. That little bar there. But so I think probably I should check in on the rest of the family here. But again, I want to appreciate all of you who joined us here tonight, whether for a few minutes or the entire show. And definitely want to appreciate Ace and George and Kevin for agreeing to be a part of this. To be honest, I really don't care if anybody watches this. What I really enjoy is having a conversation with people who also love Vegas and who also enjoy talking about it. And so thank you for joining me again tonight. And we'll touch base with each and every one of you individually. And maybe in a couple of months, at least one or two, or maybe all 3 of you will join us for the next Vegas Roundtable. Any final thoughts from any of you all?
Yeah, one thing we didn't talk about that's really amazing when I started working on this app is just the number of unique, different activities that you can do here, right? So look at wild and crazy and unique in activities when you get the app. I mean, there's just so many bizarre things you can do here that are so much fun, and you wouldn't know they exist, right?
Oh yeah.
So
There's some there's some ones that maybe I shouldn't know they exist, but yeah.
If you could rig it up so I can fire an automatic weapon while running an excavator, I am in.
I think we're just one investment away from that.
Oh my God.
There's
they have that show with the it's a big show with all the construction people. I can't think what it's called.
Extreme dirty jobs or something like that.
I
know what you're talking about.
No, I know. I was there once during it. I walked by the convention center and there's all these giant pieces of equipment going on. But
there's a place here called Dig This where you can rent land moving equipment and crush cars.
That's
really fun.
That sounds like something Kevin has been wanting to do.
Amazing. And then there's a place that I've wanted to do called Gunship Helicopters where you can shoot a machine gun out of the side of a helicopter.
That is very close.
Actually, Auntie Sin took her son to go do that. Come to think of it, on one of the recent trips.
Oh my goodness,
so much stuff, and then just a unique experience that all we haven't talked about. But Area 15 is an amazing place. So I love that place, right?
Yeah, I definitely want to go there.
There's so much.
I got to check it out sometime.
So much stuff there.
Maybe a lot of us can go next time we're in town together.
Yeah, it's a fun idea.
Yeah. Now and one of these months we're going to get Auntie Sin on here. We may have to adjust the time frame to make sure she can join us. But
or here's an idea: we just pick her up and move her over there.
No, there you go.
Do that, right? What's she gonna do? She's 5'0". What's she gonna do?
Yeah, there's no hope, none at all. All right. Okay, folks. Well, call it a night, I guess. Again, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to each and every one of you individually, and perhaps we'll talk to some of you again the end of June when we decide to do this again.
Awesome.
Okay. Have a great night.
Great seeing everybody.
Thanks for having me.
All right, strong hands and happy spinning all.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.